Hello students, in our last video we have discussed the topics that is reducing, that is methods of increasing friction and methods of reducing friction. Yes, we have studied it from the books. Now come to the next topic, that is a last topic, which is your fluid friction, that is friction exerted by liquids and gases. So the topic name is fluid friction. So fluid means, do you understand what is fluid? Okay, so fluid means those substances which are able to flow easily are called fluids. Okay, so we know any substance is made up of what? It is made up of atoms and molecules. Yes, any substances are made up of atoms and molecules. Again, we know that by any substance we mean what? We mean any type of matter. Matter means what? Something that occupies space and has weight. That is known as matter. So matter can be called as substance. So matter can be how many types? They can be 3 types: solid, liquid and gases, right? But we know solid substances have a definite shape, isn't it? Yes, solid substances have a definite shape. That is, the molecules in solid substances are fixed, that is bounded in one places, right? So that they cannot move easily, right? That is why they have a fixed shape, right? They have a definite shape. But in liquid and gases, you see, the molecules are not bound at one place, that is, they can move or flow easily from one place to another. Yes, that is why liquid and gases, do they have a definite shape? No, they do not have. So why so? Because the molecules are not bound at one place, that is, they can move here and there, they can move or flow easily from one place to another. Therefore, from the above definition of fluid, we can say that what? We can say liquids and gases are fluids, and fluids have no fixed shape. Yes, so the most common liquid around us is what? Water. Yes, and the most common gas around us is what? Air. Thus, water and air are what? They are the most common fluids, isn't it? Now students, our topic name is what? Fluid friction, right? So fluid friction is a what? There is a friction whenever an object moves through a fluid, that is liquid or gases. So friction acts whenever an object moves through liquid or gases. It is simply called what? Fluid friction. So how the friction acts on fluid like air? Okay, we'll see now. So air has not much weight, as we all know, that is, it is very much light and thin, isn't it? So it is very light and thin, yet it opposes the motion of any object through it. That is, it exerts a frictional force on objects moving through it. So when an object moves through air, what will happen? It will push the air out of the way of its motion, and air will also push back on the object. This push of air on the moving object creates what? Creates friction, which tends to slow down the moving object, that is, which tends to slow down the motion of the moving object. This shows what? So this is how frictional force acts on fluid like air, water, right? So some of the everyday life examples are: air exerts frictional force on cars, buses, aeroplanes, rockets and birds, etc. when they move through it. Okay. So now students will see what happens in case of fluids like water or any other liquid. Okay. In the earlier case we have seen air. Now we'll see water. What happens in case of liquid? Similar case happens in case of liquid also. That is, when an object moves through water or any other liquid substance, it pushes the liquid or water out of the way of its motion, and the liquid or water also pushes back on the object. This push as a result creates what? Creates friction, which tends to slow down the object. This is how water exerts force of friction on objects which move through them and opposes their motion. Got it? So some of the examples from everyday life are, see, water exerts frictional force on objects like what? Boats, speedboats, ships, submarines and fish, etc., which move through it. Isn't it? So now we draw our conclusion that from the above discussion we conclude that fluids, that is liquids or gases, exerts force of friction on objects moving through them. Got it? And the name of the frictional force exerted by a liquid, that is air or water, is called what? Is called drag, or it is known as drag force. Got it? So now what is drag? Drag is a kind of frictional force exerted by a fluid like air or water, which opposes the motion of an object through that fluid. Got it? So since every force has got magnitude and direction, we know, right? Every force has got magnitude and direction. So what about the direction of drag force? Okay, so drag force acts in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of the object. Okay, just like friction. So drag force acts in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of the object. So from the above discussion, it is clear that drag force slows down the object moving through fluids and makes speeding up harder, right? So some typical examples of drag forces are the air resistance force experienced by a car or an aeroplane when they move at high speed, and the water resistance force experienced by a speedboat moving rapidly in the sea. These are the typical example of drag force. Okay. Now students, the magnitude of drag force. See, the magnitude of drag force depends on 4 factors. They are speed of the object, first of all. So higher the speed of the object moving through a fluid, greater will be the frictional force, or what? Drag force acting on it. So for example, an aeroplane flying at a higher speed of 1000 km per hour will face a greater frictional force or drag of air then what? Then similar aeroplane which is flying at a lower speed of say 600 km per hour. Okay, so that means higher the speed of the object moving through a fluid, greater will be the drag force. Now the next factor is shape of the object. Okay, so the objects having streamlined shapes face much less frictional force or drag when moving through a fluid than the objects which do not have streamlined shape. So let us understand this by an example. Okay, so a car has a streamlined shape due to which it faces much less drag of air while running at higher speed. On the other hand, a bus does not have a streamlined shape, so it encounters a much greater drag from air while running at the same speed. So it means what? The objects having streamlined shape face much less drag. Got it? So now the size of the object. That is the next factor, is the size of the object. So larger the size of the object moving through a fluid, greater will be the force of drag acting on it. Okay. So for example, a big aeroplane flying at a particular speed will face more drag of air than a small aeroplane flying at the same speed. Okay. Now the last factor is nature of the fluid. So nature